the thing that leaves Marvel fans divided.
Me?
Can you believe it? We Marvel fans, we absolutely love, Marvel, of course we do. But it takes something really interesting to divide us. Stay tuned to hear what that is. This is the Marvel Podcast. Feel free to subscribe, like, comment, and share if you like this. Make sure you listen to the end. So, I'm a Marvel fan, and I got into Marvel in 2018 by seeing Infinity War in the cinema. I don't get me wrong, I liked Marvel before that, but that really got me almost hooked, and I went back and watched everything, and it was really just like hardcore, like trying to watch it. And then what I realized when I got into more Marvel fan communities is that there was this divide. It was kind of crazy, where there were the Marvel MCU fans and the Marvel comic fans, and that was like, oh my gosh, they're enemies. People don't want to hear that, but there was a little bit of that, and yes, there are people that they get on, whether they came from the comic side or whether they came from the MCU side, but there is a bit of friction between the two. And also, the source material, aka the Marvel comics, is not exclusively used for the MCU. There's been a lot of changes, things get switched around, things get mixed and matched, certain storylines change and shift a little bit. Some of that is down to just pure storytelling, and some of that is down to actual legal issues. One of the biggest ones being that the Fox properties owned things like the X-Men, and that recently got kind of taken back by Marvel, so things couldn't be told in a certain way. So for example, in Age of Ultron, the twins, the Maximoff twins, they're mutants, but you couldn't say mutants in the MCU then because of licensing stuff, so they had to change things around a little bit. But yeah, it is very, very interesting when you dive into it a little bit more. There are various examples if you're interested. Comment below, let me know, and I can do another video of that. And yeah, it's just quite shocking to me as someone who grew up watching Marvel on Fox Kids Throwback and all these things, all these shows, and I didn't read the comics. I was personally born in the 90s. I know there's people born in the 90s that do read the comics. I wasn't one of those people. But yeah, before, I know people that are older than me that were more into the comics because that was more around the time, or it was more popular. It was, that was more of a thing before the internet was what it is today, and even what it was 15 years ago. So the comics were a way more popular medium for people to enjoy Marvel. Not to say there wasn't other things, that of course there were, TV, movies and film. But before, in the 80s, 70s, 60s, 50s, that was when the comics were really kind of, up there. So people that were reading it around those times, they would have more of an affinity to it. So I hear that. I just wasn't one of those people. If I was gonna read something, it would have been manga or science books. So that's just me. But yes, comment below. Are you divided, or do you think that actually we should all be harmonious, kumbaya with as Marvel fans, no matter what made us like it and how we got into it and which medium of Marvel we enjoy, whether that's the movies, the comics, the shows, or any of that? Thank you for listening.